What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, are you really asking me to do that?
Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special post-season BB show with one of your favorites, Brett. We have so much to get to on this show, but let you guys know first, if you've missed any of our shows with the past Houseguest, safe to say we have had them basically all on at this point. They are all over at yourrealityrecaps.com/BB20. You can also check out all of the content that we did all season long from Trash Draft, or if you need flashback times, recap shows, it is all over there on the website. But you guys are here right now on YouNow, so make sure you become a fan so you get alerted every single time we go live. We're not going anywhere. We still do shows every single night of the week. I think you guys know that. Tomorrow night we actually have your Big Brother winner Casey on, followed by Swaggy and Bailey will be here on Thursday for a couples show. We have stuff with Rockstar planned, and I hear Sam may very well be this week too. So make sure you guys become a fan so you're alerted every time we go live. Of course, if you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons, and of course, the after shows with the house guests like the one we're doing with Brett after this show. You can always do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal, and the number one fan on this show and you now can have a win a Brett autograph or a Skype call. It is your choice. But look, we can't get to any of that without getting to the guy that you want to hear from. Oh my God, everybody, it's Brett!
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
How are you doing, Brent?
I'm good, man. I'm good, and I'm happy to be home, happy to be out of the house. It's been absolutely overwhelming since the show, but everything's good.
I am so happy that you are here, seriously, because I think, just number one, we have had so many people that you were like one of the top people that everybody wanted to hear from, that they just kept like, we need him on the show. So I think a lot of people love you, which is no surprise to you, because you were kind of like a comedic voice in the house, I feel. You kept us very entertained all season long, is my point. Let everybody know really quickly. Go ahead, share the show, spread the word, let everybody know that we are live, because we're going to start jumping into your guys' questions right now. You can tweet me them with hashtag YRRLive. You can leave them in the chat room. I'm going to take the first question from Dorsey, who wants to know, Brett, so I guess some of your friends who might not have known you were on Big Brother, found out from seeing you on the national news, aka Julie saying your name wrong. So seriously, I was joking about you with it, but did you even notice that she said it wrong at that moment?
Yeah, it's funny. So I didn't even notice that she said the Moonfest thing.
Okay.
But I did notice she said my name wrong. And I was like, dude, am I really going to be the guy that corrects Julie Chen live? Like, hopefully no one even noticed that. Whatever, man.
Yeah, it was, but you find it, like, do you find it funny now, right? Like, it is, like, you're going to go down in Big Brother history for that one.
I mean, dude, it is what it is. It's not the first time someone's messed up my name. It won't be the last time someone messed up my name. You know, and obviously I was oblivious to why at the time. I had no clue what was going on. I just was like, oh, man, whatever.
It was, yeah, I think all season long, I would always say Brett, and people would go, Brett. And I would say, yeah, I said Brett. And they would go, no, you said Brent. And I was like, no, I said Brett. I know his name. Now I just think that it's tongue twister-y.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Annie wants to know, and you got this from a ton of people as well, besides Winston, who is your favorite house guest?
That's tough, man. It depends on the day of the week. I mean, really, I'm so close with everyone, especially everyone from level 6. Mm-hmm. But it really depends. Outside of level 6, I'm pretty close with JC. It's just, man, you get so stir crazy in there, and everyone gets so like lethargic and boring that like JC was the only one that would keep me entertained all the time. Like we would just feed off of each other all day. Like just just like talking shit to each other 24/7.
I think it's funny that you say it's your relationship with JC, although we did love watching it later in the game. I think the first half of the game, everybody loved kind of watching you and Winston together. Yeah. A lot of people I know want to know what drew you to Winston in the beginning of the game. Like, what made you guys bond so much?
I don't know what naturally drew. I don't know. He was just like he was someone that I knew outside of the house. No matter what, if we crossed paths, we would be best friends.
Right.
I knew that. Like we just immediately knew that. We just hit it right off. It was like I would say something, and as I was finishing my sentence, he'd be like, "Dude, I was saying the same exact thing. Like, are you reading my mind right now? Did we just become best friends?"
Yeah, it did seem like you guys had a bromance for the season, which I kind of think they didn't want that edit to end necessarily. We were all definitely sad to see that ended so soon because you were someone who was willing to kind of stir up you were someone who was willing to stir up the game.
Oh, definitely.
Let's go over to Michelle, who wants to know, did you ever seriously think about working with Rockstar? It would have been fun to see, and I don't think the house would have ever suspected it.
No, you're 100% correct. That's exactly what I wanted to do. But as soon as I went for that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, alliance there, I knew that she was telling other people about it. And once she told other people, it's out the door. It wasn't going to work. She wasn't really fully committed to it. I was fully committed. I was ready to rock and roll. I was like, this is going to be the biggest move in history if it works. Because no one would have ever seen that coming. Like, ever, ever, ever. So right. I really did want to do that. But then I found out through Sam, and I was like, it's not going to work. If anyone else knows about it, it won't work.
Okay, so you would have stuck to it. You did break up for 1 second, but so you would have stuck with it. Even if you thought that like your ties to level 6 were better. Like, in other words, I guess what I'm saying, I see a lot of people asking, would it have been like you would have stuck with it as long as it benefited your game, or would it have been like you really would have rode to the end with Rockstar keeping it a secret above level 6?
It's definitely something I would not have informed level 6 about. But at the same point in time, it's hard to answer that, man, because you're not like until you're in the scenario where you can calculate what is the opportunity cost here, how effective is this going to be? Is it really something I can count on? And at the same point in time, do you really want to final 2 with someone who's not going to win it? She was the worst competitor. Not that I won a bunch of competitions by any means, but someone's got to win them.
Right. I think in Big Brother, you have to move each week. You have to move to what is going to get you further in the game. But I think a lot of us really did want to see that relationship in the game work out, just because I think we all kind of like secret alliances. So.
I was 100% down for it. I just knew at the end of the day that the way that Rockstar had played her whole game, she was 100% loyal to Hayley.
Right.
She was never going to pick me over Hayley. That was never, ever, ever going to happen. So, I mean, obviously I would have taken it week by week, and as long as it was an advantage to me. Mm-hmm. But to give you the answer that you're looking for, at the time, I was fully committed and ready to do it until the secret was out, and that's when I had to cut my ties.
Got you. April wants to know, was there any woman in the house that you would have wanted to have a showmance with? Or if not, is there a former Big Brother player you'd want to?
So to give you guys full honesty here, I literally binge watched 2 seasons before going on and had never seen the show before.
Okay.
Like literally like week before, binge watched 16, binge watched 19, didn't know much of the show, and just figured it out as I was on the fly.
Right.
Like I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but like I'm going to try and figure it out. In terms of women in the house, don't get me wrong, all beautiful women, but it's so hard to differentiate whether someone is using you for game or genuinely interested in you, and I wasn't going to let someone make a fool of me on national television.
Got you. Okay, no, that's definitely a fair answer. Well, actually, I'll take, maybe there's a woman you're forgetting about, because Denise has a question, and she wants to know, did you enjoy it when Grandma bathed you?
I was ready for Grandma to go play on that ranch and never come back.
Oh, Grandma. I think, well, here, Annie0615 said, the segments with your granny were hilarious for all of us to watch. Were they just as fun for you in the moment?
There were times where it was fun, but man, when she's waking you up at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and not just waking you up and leaving, but waking you up and making you pick up all of her pills and making you organize them and then making you make a peanut butter sandwich and then making you make pancakes and then making you, it gets, dude, you're just tired. You're tired, man.
Didn't she make you eat, we know it was on the feed, so we can talk about it, but I don't know that it made the show, but didn't she make you eat chocolate chip cookies, but then they weren't chocolate chips in them or something?
Yeah, they were not chocolate chip cookies. They look good. They actually, at first I was like, nice, these actually look kind of good. And then the chocolate chips were actually little black pepper, full peppercorn.
Oh, that's right, peppercorns.
And
right.
no, and I'm pretty sure there was sardines in them and so much salt. It was you might as well have just taken a thing of salt and poured it right into my mouth. It was 10 or 12 cookies, and I just finished lunch. I literally just finished lunch, and it was rough. That was rough.
All right. I want to take a question over from Twitter. It's from BB Feed Watcher, and he wants to know, do you regret not keeping Scotty when he was on the block with Hayley?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. At that point in time, looking, obviously hindsight's always 20/20. But looking back on it, the way Scotty really did play a loyal game. If Scotty was being 100% to you, he was 150%, and he didn't care who he would tell. That was one thing he needed to work on. But I do wish that I'd taken that leap of faith. The thing is I caught Scotty red-handed in a lie. Mm-hmm. I caught him red-handed in a lie. I looked him square in the eyes and said, Scotty, did you or did you not say to Fessel that you need to finish what you started in referral to me and Winston going on the block? And he lit up like a Christmas tree. He was so red and so shocked at the time. I was like, am I really going to keep the guy that said that out loud? Now, of course, it's game. He's telling Fessel whatever he wants Fessel to hear to get his vote. Or I guess he was on the block at the time. But I was like, am I really going to do that, man? But looking back on it, based on the trajectory of the game, I think that Scotty and I really could have done some damage and really stirred things up. And then I think I would have had a better shot at Final Two.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was downhill after the HOH meeting, you putting the blame, what was it? You said that you weren't the vote? I forgot what
no,
it was.
I was.
You saying you were the vote when it was Scotty. And were you floored that he didn't, confront you more on that? I know a lot of people wanted to know, you guys went downstairs and played Jenga together. And neither one of you acknowledged that you just kind of threw giant grenades at each other's games.
Yeah, that's why I absolutely love Scotty. I love that dude so much. He cracks me up. Actually, going back to the other, man, Scotty was probably one of my other favorite people in the house. We would just have so much fun together because it's just you go crazy in there, man. And he was just a lighthearted, funny dude. And he was someone who understood the difference between game and personal.
Right.
He's like, hey, listen, I'm putting you on the block, but I still love you as a person, where I make a game move and Rockstar wants to rip my head off. Right. So he was someone who could differentiate the game. And even after making that game move, he still only wanted to hang out with me in the Jenga room, which kind of blew my mind. But I was sitting there, I was like, this is mental warfare. If I get up, he's going to think I'm weaker than him. I will sit here uncomfortable all night.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking about that. We talked to him about it. He was, that was it. We were all dumbfounded. We're just watching it and we're like, did we miss something? Did we, what, why is everyone?
Dude, I was just as thrown off. I was like, what is going on right now? Because I thought he was going to come in screaming. I was like, God, I really don't want to deal with this again, man. I'm so sick of everyone screaming at me all the time.
Interesting. Heidi wants to know, when you were pretending to work with the other side of the house, did you ever feel like you actually wanted to work with them and become part of the hive?
I wouldn't say the hive as a whole, but yeah, I definitely did at one point in time. But that was when Fessel got real sketchy. It was weird. It was like me and Fess had a relationship individually. We were growing, and it wasn't great, but it was growing. I knew me and Hayley had a good relationship. And then it was like the last person I needed was Rockstar.
Okay.
And then me and Rockstar start blossoming. Like, she's literally asking me for advice on her eviction speech.
Right.
I was like, wow. I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm like totally in. And that's when Fess got like super sketched out all of a sudden. It was like, whoa, man, like you're giving them too much attention. Like, you're not giving me enough attention. And in my mind, I was like, I'm already good with Fess. I'm already good with Hayley. I need to use all this time to get good with Rockstar because I'm already at a deficit with her. So I have to put in a lot more groundwork if she's going to stay. And then Fess just went like AWOL and was like, didn't like how much attention I gave to them. And he even said to me after the show, he's like, yeah, man, I just thought like you were like, I like them and like, fuck Fess, like whatever. I don't know why he thought that. And that's when I was like, there was always one person. There was always one person that wasn't down. And Level 6 had always been loyal to me. I had no reason not to trust them. So I just stuck with them.
Right. Well, so then speaking of that situation, let me take this question from Shawana over on Twitter, who wants to know, Brett, were you falling for Hayley? Because it seemed like it sometimes.
Dude, Hayley's a great girl. Don't get me wrong. But no, not at all. Awesome girl. Love her to death. I was completely aware of her and Fess, what was going on. I wasn't oblivious. I knew exactly what was going on. I just wanted to provoke them enough that one of them would freak out. I was like, I just need someone else to be a bigger target in the house. And I kept asking. I was like, Hayley, are you and Fess a thing? And she would say no. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be the guy hitting on another guy's girl. I was like, just tell me. I was like, please be honest with me. And she kept saying, absolutely not. And I would ask Fess the same thing. Guys, that I'm gonna get on Hayley. She's a hot chick. Like, why would I not? And I could see him like getting bothered by it, and it was all game. I was like, he's either gonna get upset and make himself a target in the house.
Right.
I mean, that was what I was waiting for. I was like, he's gonna get upset, and then it will reveal that they're together. So that'll make both them a target because anyone who pairs up, it becomes a target. That's why Winston was out immediately. So I was like, first off, it'll expose the two of them, and if he freaks out enough, it'll make him the target in the house.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I think that we did see that was what you were doing. Again, another reason why we loved watching you, because you weren't afraid to do those things. A lot of people sometimes that are like super fans or really know the game are sometimes afraid to like make moves like that. I want to take a question from Kelly, who says, which veto night / eviction speech were you most nervous to make?
So most nervous would 100% be my first eviction speech next to Winston. To be completely honest, when I got up there, I had this like elaborate, funny speech, totally lighthearted, had nothing to do with game.
Right.
I didn't really prepare at all. I stood up there, I said the first couple of lines, and I completely blacked out. I was like, oh man, how do I save this? And then somehow, like, in a split second, I was like, you know what, Rockstar she's going to vote for me, and she did this, and like, I don't even remember the words. Like, I honestly blacked out the whole thing, and I came up with it on the spot and was like, I'm going to this. I don't know if it'll work. Let's just see what happens.
And then that was like the catalyst for you to try and keep making them more and more, you would say, going forward?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like you have to know which one is everyone's favorite.
The Vision?
Your Vision. Of course your Vision is everybody's favorite.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Everybody's favorite one from you. But yeah, again, another reason I think, you were very much the comedic, voice of the season. Emma K wants to know, what did you think when Rockstar gave Tyler the answer during the OTEV competition?
Oh man, dude. I was like, this isn't real. Like, this isn't really happening, man. What an idiot.
Well, to be fair, it could
Oh,
have been, or it was because she wasn't sure. It wasn't like she was just giving it to give it to him.
oh
She
no, definitely.
would say she wasn't sure and was more like confirming.
Hey man, you asked what I was thinking at the time, and that's what I was thinking. I
That's
was
what
like,
you.
there's no way. I was like, there's no way this is really happening. And of course, I was pumped
Mhm.
because I thought for sure. I was like, man, we're level 6 is screwed. I was like, we're screwed if we don't win this veto. And then it was looking like Hayley or Rockstar were going to win. I was like, we're definitely screwed. We're
Right.
definitely screwed. Which honestly, hindsight, I kind of wish one of them did because I knew I wasn't the replacement nom because it was Hayley.
Mhm.
So I was like, honestly, could have been a totally different game looking back on it.
The Little Prince on Twitter wants to know, what was the most challenging aspect of Big Brother for you, and how would you handle it differently if given the chance to play again?
Dude, I mean, it's all mental warfare. So it's concealing how you truly feel about anything ever,
Right.
ever. Like you can't ever truly be on. And that's what sucks is the only person I ever was 150% honest with always was Winston.
Right.
And then he was gone and you have no one to confide in. So like normally in real life, when you're thinking something, you have like your core support group where you go, hey, tell me if I sound insane. And they go, yeah, you sound totally insane. Or no, you're thinking about this totally logically, where you only ever have yourself to reconfirm that you're thinking logically in the house.
Right.
So I said it a million times. I honestly haven't seen the show yet either. I don't know what made it out in the world. But
Oh, you haven't. Okay, go ahead.
no, I watch it. So I would say the game is 100% about making the least amount of mistakes. It's not about making the most amount of moves. So I think that was Swaggy's, for instance, Swaggy's biggest mistake is he tried to play the entire game in 2 weeks,
Right.
which he did good, but then it bit him in the butt because he made moves a little bit early, and that's just what happened. So it's all about it's just keeping your mouth shut because you don't know who's going to be in power next. And of course, you're like, yeah, this would put me in an advantage if I say this now. That's awesome, but you just got to keep your mouth shut sometimes, and that's the hardest thing because there's nothing to do ever. There's never anything to do. And then you're like, all right, well, what do we talk about now? We've talked about everything I can think of. So you're like, all right, let's start talking game. And then you open up your mouth about something that you shouldn't have opened your mouth about.
Okay, let me go over to April B. You got this from a lot of people. Wants to know, did you ever see the back door coming?
Absolutely.
You did.
Absolutely. 100%. That's like when people say it's like, oh man, you got so blindsided. I'm like, oh really? There really wasn't many other options. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I just didn't win the veto.
Right.
Honestly, I was like, I didn't win. I knew that Tyler obviously viewed me as a strong competitor. And in comparison to going up against JC, I assumed that, someone like that or Sam. So honestly, I just didn't win it. It was a leap of faith. I knew when I made the move to go against the girls, I was like, and I said it too, in the DR, I was like, I will either be the next person out if I make this move, or I will go final 2. I was like, I came here to win the game. I didn't come here to make 4th over 6 plays, because if I don't make the move, I will probably be 4th. If I win, I'll be lucky and I'll get 3rd.
Right. All right, well, then, on that note, Erica Diego says, knowing the jury viewed you and Angela similarly, do you think it would have been more beneficial to form a final 2 with her instead of Tyler?
Yes, in terms of votes. Absolutely. But I knew for a fact Angela was not taking me final 2. Right. I knew it. There was no chance in hell she was taking me there. So I was like, yeah, if I get to final 2 with her, I'll probably win over a vote. But I'd rather get to final 2 than not make it there.
Yeah, I mean, we have not had Angela on yet, but there was rumors, if we believe the rumors that were out there during the season, there was rumors that she was not going to bring Tyler to the final 2. So it would be interesting, but I don't believe that for a second. I feel like showmances always take each other regardless.
Yeah, I knew it. I saw it coming, and I was like, you know what, man? I knew it. I just knew Casey honestly, I thought Casey or Angela would pick each other every single day of the week me, maybe even over Tyler. But I was like, they're definitely not picking me over. It was Angela was either taking Casey or Tyler. I was not going to trump either one of them.
Right. I have a very serious and important question because we do like to ask the serious and hard-hitting questions around here. It is from Tracy2016, and she says, Brett, question, do you have any idea when Rockstar's daughter's birthday is?
I still have no clue, man.
I actually don't know.
I really have no clue, man. You know what? I think that speaks for itself.
Julianne Louis 33 wants to know, why didn't you tell the jury about level 6, or did you? Because we didn't get to see a big, round table discussion about it. Like, did you go in telling them all about level 6, or was it just what we saw, during the round table?
Yeah, so I wanted to, at first I held back. I didn't want to tell them about it because I wanted to try and control the narrative a little bit. Because if I just go, hey guys, yeah, I was in level 6 and I was the lowest man on the totem pole, I couldn't necessarily villainize Tyler as much as I wanted to. Because at first I didn't want Tyler to win. I was bitter at first. I'll be completely honest. I was emotional. I was upset at the time. I'm glad I had the time to think it through. But then, obviously you think about it and you're like, okay, we're here to play a game. It is what it is. It really wasn't the move that bothered me. It was more the comment, the 1-step, 2-step. I didn't really feel it was needed. I was like, dude, I honestly thought we were friends, man. Like, I get it that you want to have a big bang in this game and blow it up in your face. I was like, but I never did anything against you. So I was a little bit bothered by that at first. Right. But, man, I can't hold a grudge after all the things I said and I did in the game. So you just got to let it go. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. I think the number one tweet I just randomly, stupidly tweeted out during the season, which, I got something insane, 5,000 retweets or something, was I said, all I want Brett to do is when Angela walks into jury, ask her, was this step 3? Was this your step 3? That is all we wanted. We all wanted it. We were like, come on, give it to her. And then, that was the only time you let us down is what I'm saying, Brett. That was the only moment. Oh, wait.
Man, I was like, I'm out of the game. I'm so sick of this, man. I'm done with all this BS with everyone.
Right, exactly. Heather wants to know, do you have a Halloween costume yet?
Oh, I got a really good one in the works with Winston. We're going to Canada this week, so I'm gonna wait to release that. But yes, I do.
Okay. S Winks. Oh no, not S Winks. More Bean 444 wants to know, how do you think Winston would have done in the game if you were evicted before him?
So me being evicted instead of him?
Right.
Is that what you're asking?
Right. Do you think he would have done well in the game without you?
Winston's a smart dude. I think that he would have done well. The problem is at that point in time in the game, he had portrayed himself as kind of a hothead, and someone who kind of freaks out. So again, a lot of the game is just be more patient than the person sitting on the block next to you. They will freak out, which worked to a T every single time, and then they will shoot themselves in the foot and get themselves out of the game. So, you know what? I hope he would have done well, but I know that he sometimes gets a little anxious. He freaks out a little bit. So I don't know. It's hard to say. You could go a million different routes.
All right, so, Brett, for 1 second, I'm going to switch over here. I'm going to hang up and call you right back because you are we can still hear you perfectly, but you are frozen. I don't know if I just hang up and call you right back if it'll fix it, so I'm doing that right now. All right, hold on, everybody. I'm hanging up, and I'm calling him back. It's a live show. It's live, everybody. All right. All right, you're back, you're moving, hold on, we will jump right back in. Yeah, it's weird. Skype is weird sometimes. Okay, let me go over to this question from Sal863 wants to know, was Fessy mad about your goodbye message?
No, Fessy, dude, he's a trooper, man. He gets it. He's a funny dude. He really has a good sense of humor. He said he was like this fucking guy, man. He said he was laughing though when I asked him about it.
Okay, so speaking of goodbye messages, Curtis wants to know, what did you think of Hayley telling you that you're uninvited to the football game?
Man, I was like I was so annoyed at the time because obviously it was because of Angela and Casey's goodbye messages, and I knew they were plotting against me. So I was like, dude, come on, man. You're gonna believe those two over me? Like, come on.
Right. Lady J wants to know, who would you say you were specifically the closest to on the other side of the house? So I guess that could be considered the Hive and JC too, kind of?
I would definitely say, well, I wouldn't say JC was the other side of the house. If you say the other side of the house, I would say Hayley's probably the person I was the closest to. But I mean, I was pretty close to JC. Hayley and I just related a lot. We went like, she goes to a big SEC school. We just have a lot in common. That's about that.
Okay, so speaking of Hayley, Starlet7 wants to know, why didn't you try and work more with Hayley after Fessy left?
Hayley can't keep her mouth shut. She tells everyone everything. You say, but if you want everyone to know something, you tell Hayley that. But if you don't want to, you tell Hayley one thing and everyone in the house will know.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Forward Flow wants to know, did you know that when Tyler told you to let him win the veto, he was really after you in that moment? Did any part
come on, dude. Absolutely. I knew the second. So we were both going to throw the HOH.
Right.
I threw the first question. Tyler gets in. I was like, all right, let's see what's up. Threw the second question. He gets it. And I was like, I'm fucked if I don't win this.
And you were so close.
That's when I knew. And then that's when I started answering the questions correctly. And then I didn't win. And I was like, I have to win this veto.
Right.
I didn't throw the veto. I just didn't win it. That was it. And especially when he's like, dude, let me take the blood. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what are you talking? Yeah, I knew exactly. I knew something was up, man. I knew 100%.
Okay, I want to jump over to BB Hyde over on Twitter, who wants to know, what was going through your mind when Sam said she loved you? Or more specifically, one of my favorite moments from the season, when Sam was like, when you're talking in the backyard, I know that you're secretly communicating with me in the things that you say, and I'm secretly communicating back with you, and I'm in love. And I was like, what am I watching?
Oh, man. Well, all right. So there's two sections of that.
Right.
The communication part, I was like, you are out of your mind. I was like, you were giving me way too much credit. Like, I wish that I was that, like, I didn't even know what to say to that.
Right.
The love part, man, you go through such highs and lows in that house that it just depends on the type of person that you are, that you want to cling to people. And you get close. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we were all intimate with each other. We're all very, very, very close with each other. And I love Sam. Sam's awesome. But again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. So half of me was like, is Sam totally trying to play me right now? Like, is she just like doing this like crazy idea and then like wants to like keep me in her back pocket? I didn't know what was up.
Right.
You don't know. You really, dude, you don't know. And anyone that says they do is out of their mind. So I was like, dude, I'm not going to let her play me right now. And it like a little fiddle. I didn't know what her motive was there. And I was but I also realized the fact that people like, you just want to cling on to anything you can. You want to cling on to any sense of realness. And the most real person in that house was Sam. Right. The most real person. So I don't know, man. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what.
I think one of my favorite, it's rare that I will make sure that I watch an entire conversation or whatever when it happens on the feed, especially when it's so long. I mean, my favorite of the season was you, Sam, and Scotty in the backyard when you guys were coming up with the plan to kind of like pin it on Hayley or pin it on Hayley, right? That
just to be clear, right. I knew exactly what was gonna happen. I was sitting there with the Veto. I was hanging out, man. I was like, I'm totally safe right now. But man, I can't wait to watch this blow up. I cannot. So I was just losing my mind. I was like in tears, laughing, listening to these two come up with this plan. I was like, you are out of your mind if you think that Fessy is going to take you off the block and put Hayley up there.
Yeah. It was, if you guys did not watch that, seriously, the flashback times are over at yourrealityrecaps.com/BB20 flashbacks. You need to go back and watch that whole, it's like an hour and a half, but it is hysterical. Like, it really is. Was annoyed more of it did not make the show because it was the best. Senile Old Broad wants to know, did you really get mad at Hayley for spraying you with the water, or was that all just game?
So a little bit, I wasn't as mad as I played it up, but and I had a long conversation with Hayley about this after, man. I was just tired. It was a long night. And at the same point in time, it was like, I was really good friends with Hayley.
Right.
And then it was just like so fake how Angela and Casey were being with Hayley that it was bothering me. Like, it was really bothering me. I was like, this is like, I'm really friends with her. Like, and don't get me wrong, we all talk shit. We all say stuff. But that was driving me nuts. And it was more the fact that, so at first when I made the joke being like something along the lines of like, you're on the block or Scotty has my heart. That's what I said.
Right.
When I made that joke, I was just kidding. I wasn't mad. But when she got upset, that's when I actually got mad. Because I was like, are you really going to turn this into a thing right now? Because you just, like, it's okay for you to joke around.
Right.
And so here was my thought. I was like, if me and Hayley have a strong enough relationship that she feels comfortable enough to spray me the night before eviction when she's on the block, then I should feel comfortable enough to be able to joke around with her and say something like that.
Right.
So that was my thought. And then she actually got upset about it. And then everyone got mad. I was like, you're going to vote her out too. I was like, I'm just being honest right now. So that's what actually bothered me.
Okay. Miss Janny Towley wants to know, was your personality in the house who you really are, or were you trying more to play up a character for TV?
So in the beginning, it wasn't for TV. I was just trying to play the dumbest jock in the room so everyone thought nothing was going on upstairs. I wanted everyone to think I was just a big old meathead idiot, and I wasn't thinking strategically. So that was on purpose. I was acting like the dumbest bro in the world. They don't have to worry about me because I'm an idiot, and that's exactly what I wanted them to do. So I was trying to hide under this, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I was playing that up.
Right.
Because I thought it would make me less of a target at the time. Then I kept getting put on the block, and I was like, well, screw it. It doesn't matter. I'm on the block anyways. I might as well be who I am. So then I just started saying, I don't give a shit anymore, man.
Okay. Jill C. wants to know, have you watched any of the season back? Which I know you said you haven't watched any back, but will you?
Yeah, no, I do. Winston's actually, so after Canada, Winston's flying back to Boston with me, and we're going to watch it together.
Okay. Oh, perfect. So, I'll ask it now in case I forget to ask it later, because I did see people asking about like YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that. Would you like consider watching it and doing commentary for fans? Like, will you
for sure.
watch it privately, or would you watch it and comment, I guess, on it while you're watching?
No, I would definitely do a recap and be like, that's bullshit. I can't believe that. I can't believe he said that. So I have no problem doing that.
Okay. Let me go over to Samantha K wants to know, what was your thoughts when Swaggy proposed to Bailey on finale night?
My thoughts were, man, that I'm happy for them, and I wish them nothing but the best.
Okay. Did you feel, I know a lot of people were asking this in the chat room too, did you feel like the answers for Tyler and Casey were too rushed? Like as a jury member, do you feel like they should have had more time to answer their questions?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I did feel a little bit bad for Casey and Tyler. Like, it was their night. It was their time to talk to us. That was their last chance, whether I vote for one of them to get $500,000. Mm-hmm. And I believe that part of their time was shortened because of it. So I did empathize with them about that. But hey, man, love is love. So I wish they just did it a little bit quicker. That's all.
Love is love. I'm not sure if it's the real Caitlin in the chat room, because I feel like the real Caitlin could just text me her question, but I'll ask it just in case. Caitlin wants to know, ask Brett why he didn't take me to the final two.
Yeah, dude, she was a ticking time bomb, man. And after the conversation that Winston and I had with Scotty that caused the blow up in the kitchen, I knew that Caitlin wanted me out after that. I was like, she's got to go. After the blow up in the kitchen, I was like, first off, she has no problem blowing up publicly, which I don't want anything to do with. It's bad for my game. Secondly, I know I'm public enemy number 2 after Fest because Fest took Hayley off the block and not her. Mm-hmm. So I knew if she ever won, it was going to be Fest and me on the block.
Okay. Melanie S. wants to know, did you ever feel that JC was playing you to go against your alliance?
Yes, I definitely felt like JC was trying to do that. I was, again, just trying to handle all scenarios. That's it. I honestly, I was trying to push JC to make a move. I just wanted him to know that he had my support if he did. But I again, was just handling all scenarios because we were just down to the thin numbers, man, that if JC or Sam won, they were going after level 6. They were going to put 2 people from level 6 up. And okay. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't one of them.
Okay. Cheyenne wants to know, what did you think of the zings from Zingbot?
I thought it was ruthless, man. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of them all. I mean, obviously mine called me a douche. You know what, man? I was called a douche before the show. I was called a douche during the show. I'm sure I'll be called a douche after the show. Whatever.
But you're like a lovable douche if someone's
like
saying
a lovable douche, you know?
In case you don't know, you won everybody over. I think a lot of us that watched the beginning of the season, like that watched your intro package, were like, oh, we know how this is gonna go. We know the character type he's fitting into. And I really think as the season went on, you really won over everybody just by being great at the game, strategic, and also being able to like differentiate game, reality, friendships, being funny. So I think you did that all perfect, during the season. And I would say, honestly, most people that say things like that, it's just because they haven't picked up on my humor yet. And I think that's probably what happened early. Most people didn't pick up on the fact that I was totally kidding. I was totally kidding, man. Like, I wasn't being serious when I said a lot of that stuff. And I think that once people kind of picked up on my behaviors and my sense of humor, and they're like, oh, that's just a joke, that's actually funny. Clarias on Twitter wants to know, who would you have put on the block if you won that HOH that Casey only beat you by 1 second in?
I'm just trying to think of exactly. So I'm trying to think of too. Haley I'm trying to think of actually who was still in the house. So I know it was me, JC, Sam, Tyler, Angela, Casey, and I think Haley was still in the house. Mm-hmm. Because I'm trying to think of who was Hayley on the block next to when she was evicted. I'm sorry.
Chad'll help us. Chad'll help us. Hayley went home that week. It was Hayley and Sam.
Hayley was on the block next to Sam.
Right.
I probably... Man, it's so hard to look back and say what you would do. At the time, man, I might have made a move. Because I knew I was good with Hayley, and I knew I was good with Sam, And I knew Sam had another final two because she told me about it, but I thought it was with Scotty. I wasn't sure if it was with Tyler or not. And I thought that I was potentially the only final two left. It's really hard to say. I might have done something along the lines of like maybe putting one person from level 6 up as a pawn and putting up Hayley next to her as a pawn. I don't know. It's really hard to say looking back on it, and so much has happened since then, and I'm aware of so much more that it's hard to say whether it would be an honest opinion of what I would have done. I might not have stirred things up. That might have been my opportunity to actually prove to level 6 my loyalty, even though I kind of put my loyalty and faith in their hands all season.
Okay. Caitlin just actually did text me and said, I'm watching, but that wasn't me. Tell Brett he's right. His ass was going next if I stayed XOXO. So it wasn't Caitlin, but she's coming after you.
I know. I'm sure I'll have text here real soon.
Mary Wojo says, who do you think played the best game from week 1 till finale?
I mean, honestly, I haven't seen everything, but as far as I know from what I saw in the house, I do think that Tyler played a great game, man, throughout the entire season. It's hard. There's two different approaches to it. It's not cut or dry. It's all opinion based. So if you want to talk about the person who actually took a chance early on and put people on the block and got blood on their hands and still played a good game throughout the season where people still didn't even want to go after them, that would be Tyler. But then there's another aspect to the game where you lay low because it's hard. Trust me, I tried to lay low. It never happened. It never happened for me. I tried really hard. And Casey was able to lay low so long and she didn't have to win anything. And then she won when she needed to. So that's another aspect of the game. So really, man, it wasn't an easy decision coming down to those two, but I'm happy that those two made final two. I think they both played an amazing game. Obviously I voted for Tyler. Reason I voted for Tyler is I think Tyler's the one that got me out. Okay. That's it. At the end of the day, I would like to think the better player is the one who got me out.
It is, I forget who said it. I want to say, I think it was Brittany Haynes who came and visited your guys' season. But I think she was the person who said, like, as a juror, I don't want to say I lost to someone that I felt played a poor game. I'd want to say I lost to someone that played an amazing game. And then thus that's the only reason I lost. So I think that is definitely a good strategy. Right. Okay, so let me ask you this, because we're about at like 45 minutes, but you still have a ton of questions. Do you want me to keep giving you like more questions? Are you pressed for time?
Not at all.
We can try and like rapid fire through them
keep
a little
them out.
bit. All right, perfect. Let me quickly then remind everybody, so far, Sparkly Eye, you are the number one fan right now, and it is number one fan's choice to get an autograph or a Skype call with Brett. And make sure you guys become a fan so you're alerted every time we go live here in on You Now, which is all the time. Okay, so let me go over to Bruno's Thumb. Is there anyone that you will not stay in contact with now that the show is over?
No, man, I got no grudges about the show at all. So, I mean, obviously there are people that I talk to less than others. That's just life. But I have, there's no one that I would purposely not stay in contact with.
Okay. Mariette P says, do you think that the jury was bitter? By the way, you should be proud of voting for who you thought played the best.
Do I think some of the jury was bitter? It's hard to say, man. Because again, it's not like Casey didn't play a great game. Mm-hmm. Really, at the end of the day, I think Casey played a phenomenal game as well. So I don't want to say, oh, Casey only won because there was a bitter jury. I really think she played a phenomenal game. So, I'm not in their minds. I don't know. I can only speak for myself.
Okay. Mary wants to know, when did you realize that Tyler and Angela were a showmans, or Fessy and Hayley, Bailey and Swaggy? So I guess, did you know all along that the showmances were showmances, is what she's asking, or did you not know until they told you?
No, I knew the entire time exactly what was going on. And honestly, Angela and Tyler didn't blossom until a lot later on, I would say. And it was probably when it really started hitting it off was when when Tyler returned the favor and took Angela off the block, is when it really started to turn into that, like, it's not just game, and they started spending a lot more time together, is when it was really much more obvious.
Right.
To me. But early on, Fessy and Hayley, that was very obvious early on. Swaggy and Bailey, very obvious early on. That, I knew, like, okay. Man, it's a small house.
Red Dancer 427 over on Twitter wants to know, Brett, if you could have made a final two with anyone, who would you have brought? And it kind of goes on. I think their point is, if you knew 100% whoever you picked was going to be in the final two with you, even if they were already evicted, who would you have wanted sitting next to you in final two? Winston. Okay. LJ Nicket02 wants to know, you always told Angela she was your favorite. Did you mean it, or was that just game to try and get her to take you to the final two?
Dude, I told everyone they were my favorite.
That's what I do too. Yep. So just game. Melanie S wants to know, so with all the thoughts of betraying your alliance, did you feel betrayed by Tyler nominating you? Which I think you kind of said you did. In the moment you did.
Yeah, no, dude, I mean, it's like, it's hard to explain, like, because when obviously I was making those moves too. I was trying to make some moves. And you literally, to explain it to everyone outside the house, you feel like a cheating spouse. Right. That's literally how you feel. You feel like you're cheating on your spouse, and you feel guilty. Like you're just covered in guilt all the time. So then it was like, when Tyler nominated me, it was like finally getting caught. Like, you were finally caught red-handed, like pants around your ankle, like a cheating spouse, and you were just like, I was like heartbroken. I was like heartbroken at that point in time. And then like the 1-2 zingers that they gave me, it was like, I already know, man, like, I'm out. I get it. Just like, let me go in peace.
Okay. I want to ask these because I think you get a lot of these questions from your younger fans. They always yell at me for not asking you. So I want to actually do these quick. Actually, I'm going to take it from S. Winks wants to know, what was your favorite and least favorite comp? And was there anyone after you were evicted that you didn't, that you wanted to play in that you wouldn't have been able to?
So favorite would obviously be the only comp that I won. Okay. So that would be the hide and go veto. I love that comp. Winning feels good, man. Least favorite, I would probably say it was the one that Bailey won HOH, the inbox outbox. I just thought it was stupid. Okay. Honestly, I was like, this is stupid. I didn't like that. I really just didn't like that comp. Okay. And then I'm just trying to think of the comps that they did after I left that I really would have wanted to do. I don't really know. Honestly, man, like, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't really know many of the comps that they did after I left.
Okay, and would you ever want to go on Survivor?
Oh, for sure.
Amazing Race?
For sure.
Who would you bring on Amazing Race with you if you could not bring Winston?
Oh, if I could not bring Winston. Mm-hmm. Oh, does it have to be someone from the show?
No.
Oh man, I'd probably ask like Lindsay Pellis or someone to do it with me.
Okay, and would you ever do the challenge?
Yeah, I would do it.
Okay, there you go, guys. I asked all your questions. Everybody, I'm always surprised that people want me to ask that, and I get so many messages like, you forgot to ask if they would go on the challenge. It's like, all right, I'll ask next time.
Yeah.
Was there anything that surprised you that happened in the real world that you found out about when you got out of the house? Not necessarily game related, like in the real world news.
I mean, surprise. Yeah, like Mac Miller died.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron was at the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else. Drake's album got dropped. A big Drake fan, so I was like, upset that was so delayed. Obviously, everyone saw my dance like 3 months later. I'm trying to think what else happened when I was in there. And then obviously, I don't know. I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
And was there any bit of game that surprised you when you got out of the house? Like JC being the flip vote, or was there any thing that when people told you, you were like, oh God, I really didn't think that's what was going on?
Yeah. Actually, so when Tyler made the move that he made against me, I was like, what an idiot. What an idiot. Like, there's no way Casey or Angela are going to pick him over the other.
Right.
So when Casey actually picked Tyler over Angela, that's when I was truly like, Tyler made the best move.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I got to ask you this question from over on Twitter. It's from Ange, and she says, Brett wore a Wyoming hat all season, and I want to know why. I know it's a random question, but it's a huge state, and I've lived here for a long time, so I'm just wondering what his ties to Wyoming are.
Hey, man, I just love snowboarding. I go to Jackson Hole a decent amount, so best snowboarding in the country, beautiful state, love going there, saw the hat, loved it. That's about it.
Okay, that's bad. Okay, so Jill C. also, I saw a random question, said, do you ski? So I guess that's a yes.
I ski as well, yeah.
Okay. Mary wants to know, what was your funniest moment in the house? Or what is your best memory from the house?
So my funniest moment, or when I laughed the hardest? That's right. Well, there's two questions there. Is it when I was being the funniest, or is it something that I laughed the hardest at?
Let's do both.
When Tyler straightened his hair, and he couldn't even look himself in the mirror. He was literally like a dog that saw his reflection for the first time and was I thought I was gonna pee my pants. That was probably the hardest, and it wasn't that I thought he looked funny. Right. It was his own reaction to his own look. Like, I have never seen pure terror in someone's face like that. That was, oh man, that was pure comedy to me. And then when I think I was the funniest, I don't know, man. I was pretty funny all season. I don't know.
I would agree you were the funniest all season. Okay, so let me go to Mary wants to know, were you shocked during Angela's eviction? So were you surprised to see that Angela was the one that came into jury after you?
Yeah, I was. I thought it was for sure gonna be JC. And that's actually, I'm telling you again, what won my vote over with Tyler was I was like, Tyler, you are an idiot if you think Casey is going to pick you over Angela. And I truly believe that deep down. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she did, I was like, Tyler, you made the best move, man. That was the smartest move. You were right. I was wrong. And that's what won Tyler's vote over with me. And yeah, I was truly shocked to see Angela.
Info32955 wants to know, do you feel like the strategy of hanging out with the other side of the house made the other three in your alliance closer and ultimately you the low man on their totem pole?
For sure. But everything you do is a gamble. It could have gone another way. The other side of the house could have won the rest of the competitions. Correct. You have no clue. So I could have set myself up for success where those three were totally screwed.
Right. Meg Foley has a very serious question for you. She wants to know if you've set off any more smoke alarms while cooking.
Actually, I have.
You have?
Oh man, if I wasn't trying to put out the fire, I totally would have actually gone live. But I was kind of like nervous at the time, so.
Okay. Future ladies, don't let Brett in the kitchen. Samantha TRN wants to know, who would you have evicted if you would have won the double?
Who would I have evicted if I had won the double? So like won the veto or won the HOH?
I guess won the veto is what she means.
So if I had won the veto, then I would have. Oh man, what I would have done is I would have left noms the same, and I probably would have voted to evict Sam.
Okay. Kate, you got this from a lot of people. I'm in Casey, and I'll take it from Casey. Basically, they're asking, is there anything that you think you could have done differently in order to have stayed in the game longer? Like, is there anything that you feel like if I would have maneuvered in a little bit of a different way, it probably would have made a difference?
So there are two huge things.
Okay.
So, and again, like one of them is so early that you have no clue how it would have changed the game. I wish that I wasn't so reckless with my relationship with Winston early, and I wish I kept that more of a secret.
Okay.
Because I truly trusted Winston. I could have always counted on him, but I wish that everyone wasn't publicly aware of that.
Okay.
And that could have changed the entire game, but who knows? You know what? That's the butterfly effect. Who knows what would have happened from there? Second biggest thing is once obviously Winston was gone, I wish that I had tried to make maybe a final two with someone earlier. But the other big thing was making the move against the girls when I did. Again, I don't regret it. I knew for a fact if they stayed, I was like, I'll get fourth. If I'm lucky, I'll get third, but I'm not getting final two. So I was like, I'd rather be the next person out or go final two. I was like, I'm risking it for the biscuit. That's what I came here to do.
Okay. I want to take over from Twitter. 100 Acre Woods wants to know, Brett, do you plan to revive your River Dan handyman character?
What do you mean revive it?
Is it dead? I didn't know if it was dead or not. I guess they mean, are you going to do more of it?
Stay tuned. We might have some more River Dan coming your way.
You know what else they want?
What else they want?
They want your T-Rex, Brett, too. People want more of it in the real world, is what they are telling me. They need more of it in the real world.
Well, the hardest thing, man, is I need an intern. I need someone to video all this stuff because I can't be doing it and then also videotaping myself at the same time.
Yeah, welcome to my life. Then they don't email you back, Brett. No, kidding.
Yeah.
If you got this from a lot of people too, if you could switch out any person from level 6 for someone from the Hive, who would you pick to switch?
That's a good question. So are you considering JC a part of the other side, or are you just saying the Hive?
Let's go ahead and put JC on the other side. Let's say if you could switch out anyone not in your alliance for someone in your alliance, who would you switch?
I probably would have switched Rachel for Fessel.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't want to let you know this, but everybody else in level 6 said they wouldn't have switched anyone. You're going to get a lot of text. No, I'm totally kidding.
That's okay.
Annie wants to know, if you were allowed to bring one luxury item in the house, but not something that would let you connect to the outside world, what would it have been and why?
Probably would have been my own iPod Shuffle with music.
Interesting. And Courtney and Christine, I see a lot of people asking about Kevin. We see that you've been hanging out a lot with Kevin. Now that you're back in Boston, are you having fun, like being with Kevin, other Big Brother players? I was Survivor player too. Was it Rodney you were with? Yeah,
of course. The reality TV world, man, we're just a big family. Everyone's been so helpful. Everyone's been awesome. It's very overwhelming coming out, and they have all helped me kind of navigate these uncharted territories for myself.
Love it. All right. I want to, before we wrap this up, Brett, you have, like I said, tons of fans here. I kind of want to give you full screen to have the floor to say whatever it is you want to say to all of your fans here live now, and that will be watching it back later.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into then I'll come back and we'll do all your social. But the floor is yours. What do you want to say to your fans?
Awesome. All I've got to say is thank you guys so much for your love and support all season. When you're in the house, your paranoia is crazy. You have no clue if the world understands the moves that you're making are just game moves, and you don't want to be depicted as a bad person. And I was absolutely honored that I was even runner-up for America's Favorite Player. I just tried to have fun with it, and I hope you guys had as much fun watching me as I had entertaining you all.
Perfect. And I totally forgot, which I do have to ask because we've asked everybody. It is our question from our town who wants to know, is there anything that you learned about yourself coming out of this game that you didn't know about yourself before you started playing it?
Oh, definitely, man. You learn so much about yourself. Just really like how much mentally stronger I am, and how to handle adversity, man, and navigate situations where before I used to just say, fuck it, man, whatever. I'm just going to say whatever I feel like doing. And I've just become a little bit more strategic, you could say, about how I handle situations and how I handle conversations, and just sit back, calm down, and handle it the appropriate way. Okay.
Where can people follow you? Where do you want people to follow you on social media?
Instagram, man. That's the best place to follow me. I don't tweet that much. I didn't tweet before the show. I'm trying to get better about it.
Okay.
Really, man, if you want to follow what I'm doing, the best way to do that is through Instagram.
Okay, so tell people who might just be listening on audio only later, what is your Instagram?
It's Brett Robinson, BB20.
Perfect. I will put the links to all of Brett's social media below this edited video if you guys are watching it back. I also saw that you got a lot of people asking if you would ever consider starting a YouTube channel.
Yes, and that is in the works.
Okay, that is in the works. And now you have Canada coming up this week, right? Or later in this week?
Wednesday I fly to Edmonton. And then I'm there Thursday, and then I believe Thursday night we fly to Calgary, and we're there Friday. And then I believe Winston and I fly back to Boston Saturday.
Okay, now is that for fan things? Is that for things that people can go and meet you at? And okay, so it is. And is all that info on your social media? They can get that there.
Instagram.
Okay, perfect. And so those are your fan meet and greets, because a lot of people are asking, are you having more fan meet and greets coming up?
Correct.
Okay, and do you have a P.O. box? People want to know.
Yes. I was going to do that, and I filed the paperwork wrong right before I'd come down to Florida. That's where I am currently, but I will be doing that as soon as I get back to Boston.
All right, so we will put everything, like I said, below this edited video later for you guys if you need to know any of that information on Brett, or check out his Instagram. We need to go head over to the patron group for the patron after show, but before we end, I just want to remind you guys all really quickly, make sure you become a fan here. Again, we have Casey on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have Swaggy and Bailey on Thursday night. Sam might end up happening on Wednesday or Friday, and we have a ton more Big Brother shows planned for you guys, so make sure you become a fan here so that you're alerted every time we go live. Congratulations, Sparkly Eye, you are the #1 fan. We will follow up with you in a bit, and patrons, we will see you guys in a few minutes. Brett, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.